Good morning, good morning. My name is Tim Bayman. I'm the Executive Director of the Roxbury YMCA. Happy that you all are here. I would like to thank you all for joining us for this important announcement about the Y's commitment to our early education teachers and the apprenticeship program. We understand that by investing in our educators, we create a space where our young people can have long-standing relationships with caring adults. Our goal is to provide an environment for our young people to learn and to thrive. Although you will hear from some very important people today, the biggest reason we're here is for our young people. Well, I would now like to introduce you all to our President and CEO of the YMCA Greater Boston, David Shapiro.
You can tell them in my first year because rookie mistake, never go after those guys, for sure. Next time, they'll go at the end. But I want to thank Tim. We always bring a lot of excitement to his doorstep. And thanks for painting the whole room in Citizens Green overnight. That was nice of you. But, you know, obviously our early learners make it all real. I just want to give you a few minutes about the announcements we're making today and then give a chance for our incredible partners to give you some remarks. We're so fortunate to have a leadership team here at the Roxbury Y, the talent, and them playing host to today's announcement. And I want to first wish you happy National Apprenticeship Week, if you didn't know. Secretary Jones, I know it's close to your heart. Yeah, give it a round. Because today is not only about our youngest learners, but it's also about lifelong learning. It's about pathways and careers that are really a win at every level, and it's also about partnership. After decades of advocacy and research and great work by so many in this room and beyond, early childhood education has become a central priority, not only for providers like the Y, but also the business community, all employers, and a priority of our great mayor, our governor, the state, and many other elected officials. In many ways, it is a core issue that cuts across all of society. And that's why the Y is proud to stand with key public and private partners to make two early childhood announcements today. Investments and innovations made possible in large part by our partners. First, for our early childhood teachers, who for too long have been expected to deliver quality, professionalized teaching without corresponding compensation, we are proud to announce what amounts to a $1 million annual investment in their wages, an average 19% increase in compensation. When our educators are effectively compensated, we are better able to fill jobs, deliver quality, retain great talent, fill and expand classrooms, and create more affordable quality slots for working families. And we all know we need more and more of those all over our Commonwealth. As the largest provider in Greater Boston, this wage increase impacts 120 assistant teachers and teachers across 9 centers, affecting 500 early learners. Public investment on everything from ARPA through the city to C3 funds through the state help make this feasible. And I must also recognize our great partners at the Department of Early Childhood and Care who lead every day and prioritize our young people and their healthy development. I know I speak for all Ys and all providers across the state when we call for continued public investment in early education, so we can pass this on to families and our great educators and ensure affordability, quality, and expand slots to better meet need. We have Mass Business Roundtable CEO JD Chesloff here. You didn't know I was going to call him out. You got to pay attention, man. And we're so appreciative of their prioritization and the business community's prioritization for early childhood on this issue for many years. As I move to our second announcement, I want to thank our co-host Citizens Bank. You're going to hear more about them, and you're going to hear from their great leader in just a little bit. I want to also thank Eastern Bank Foundation and Foundation Fellows Tom Weber and Jerry Rubin, as well, who have been advisors and longtime champions, experts, and investors. In addition to these partners, and our Secretary of Labor and Workforce Development, Secretary Lauren Jones, and the innovation of her department, which made this possible. As we mark National Apprentice Week, the recent launch of the Y's Early Childhood Education Academy. It is a proven earn while you learn apprenticeship with a goal to create 45 apprenticeships over the next year. Apprentices immediately receive pay as assistant teachers, Y benefits, and a free membership. We've launched 2 cohorts in the past 6 months with 14 apprentices serving as assistant teachers across 4 of our centers in Chinatown, East Boston, and Roxbury. Prior to being placed, they receive 40 hours of training, and along the way, they complete Fisher College's Child Growth and Development course. Apprentices also actively work with a mentor, because it's not just what you know, it's who you know, to navigate and gain guidance and support as they continue to learn and gain valuable experience. Our investment in training, pathways, and compensation is aimed at building a sustainable, diverse pipeline of quality educators by attracting, retaining high-quality teachers and providing them with livable wages and career pathways to grow and succeed. And finally, I want to thank a number of staff who are in this room, who made these ambitious innovations possible, who wrangled with the numbers, who figured out the innovations. This is actually the first time the workforce development at the Y is training folks to actually work in Y jobs. So it's quite an innovation for us. I know that seems like it shouldn't have taken 171 years to figure out, but it did. So it's quite an innovation for us, and it's also an investment in our own people in more ways than you can imagine in our neighbors. So I want to thank our staff as well. They deserve a round of applause. And so with that, let me introduce our first guest, Secretary Lauren Jones. Secretary Jones has formerly been in leadership positions at Mass Business Roundtable and in administrations at the city and state level. And in a range of leading workforce development organizations, no one knows their way around these issues like Secretary Lauren Jones. Especially important, as we all, I think, can agree, at one of the most dynamic times in the nation's history as it relates to workforce. So we are fortunate to have her leadership. Thanks for your innovative approach, for choosing to celebrate National Apprenticeship Week with us, and for your major support for the launch of our Early Ed Apprenticeship. Secretary Jones.
Thank you so much, David, and Mayor Wu, Lisa, Representative Worrell's here as well. Thank you so much for hosting today's event as we celebrate Apprenticeship Week. So I appreciate that we can be here with a great partner to celebrate what we know is a proven model and demonstrated by David's remarks. This recipe for success, this earn and learn model, can be proven not only as we've seen it time and time again in construction and the building trades, but we can roll up our sleeves and think innovatively on how this can work and prove as a success in growing and in-demand industries like our early childhood education pipeline and the talent that's already here and upskilling the talent that we're celebrating today. So I appreciate your innovation and your teamwork. Coming into this role as Secretary of Labor and Workforce Development, I had the opportunity of worked on a registered apprenticeship program in the past. So I know what it takes to try to start something new. And it's amazing to know that the Y,
I went to Guam Chinese school after we don't talk.
it's amazing to see that the Y has thought creatively in how to take not just 1 or 2 people to start in investing in, but 40+ people that are going through this program and is going to start to create scale and effectiveness in a model that, again, we know works. So, rather than starting small, you went big, and I appreciate you guys thinking right out of the gate in that way. We also know in order to do this work, it takes collaboration, and the Y definitely demonstrates a collaborator right here in the community, in Roxbury, but also across the region, and certainly the partnership with Mayor Wu in standing up priority on early childhood education in the city, and certainly with Citizens being a leading business, a leading employer, working with the Business Coalition on early childhood education, working with the Mass Business Roundtable. But we know that there's so much more that can be done, which is why when we think about how a registered apprenticeship program for early childhood education can help pave the way, we appreciate that you've also thought about the wages. We know that this is so important. The early childhood education community was completely impacted by the pandemic, but we also know that the workers in this industry, primarily women and women of color, have been overlooked in terms of their wages, and it's time that we're able to reflect that compensation, but also make sure that we're investing in that pipeline so more workers can gain the skills and upskill, and also make sure that as they do, they get the wages to reflect the hard work and the dedication. We see the young kids that were just singing here. I mean, that takes a lot of empathy and support in making sure that we're investing in our children at an early age, and our educators are important part of that work. We want to make sure we're investing in not only their training, but their compensation as well. I'm also delighted that this is kind of our Super Bowl week for our apprenticeship team. I have Dennis Collins here and Margie Gilligan as well from our Massachusetts Division of Apprentice Standards. This is, homecoming. We're so excited to be able to zigzag the Commonwealth to celebrate apprenticeship. Governor Healy knew the value of apprenticeship coming in just 10 months ago. I didn't have to convince her from my set of talking points on why this is so proven. She, along with Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, knew the value of registered apprenticeship, which is why right out of the gate, with their very first budget, they proposed a dramatic increase in registered apprenticeship so that we can boost programs like we're celebrating today. And fast forward with the FY24 budget, our first budget, with the support of the legislature, we're able to have nearly $4 million to support registered apprenticeship programs. And as a result, we're going to be able to provide nearly 1,000 apprentices over the course of the next year in expanded industries. So we know that we can lift up greater diversity in construction and the building trades, and some of that money will help support those pathways. But we also know that there's amazing opportunities to invest in these growing industries that may not have even thought about this program as a path. So we're thinking early childhood education, biotech, healthcare. How can we do this to lift up more workers? And we have this recipe for success and a tool in our toolbox that we're so thrilled to celebrate in partnership with all of you. As David mentioned, at the heart of all this work is our people. It's the educators that we're celebrating today. It's the people that make up our workforce. And I think that the registered apprenticeship model is a demonstration of how we're investing in people. It's something that we're continuing to lift up as an administration. It's a tool in our toolbox to make sure the untapped talent, people that may not even realize that they have an opportunity to succeed in our workforce, has a clear pathway. But it's also an opportunity, as demonstrated today, to upskill existing workers and making sure they have a path to meaningful employment. So we're thrilled to be able to celebrate and play a part in this big picture that you have envisioned here with the Y, and look forward to continuing to celebrate our homecoming and Super Bowl or any other kind of analogy as we support and promote and share this kind of story across the state, not only this week, but throughout the year. So thank you, David, for your partnership.
Thank you so much. Well, you can see how lucky we are to have Secretary Jones's leadership, and I can attest it's Dennis and my second tour on the Super Bowl tour today. We were just at Roxbury Community College together, so they're working hard on National Apprenticeship Week, making the most of it, and we're just feel so lucky that you chose this as one of the stops. I have the good fortune next of introducing the mayor. You already heard someone call her out, so I might do it a little more graciously, but we wouldn't. As I listened to like the voices of the kids out in the yard, which is one of my favorite noises in the world. I just would say we wouldn't be here without a mayor who prioritizes children and family. I mean, you don't hear a lot of mayors say in one of their first ever major addresses, I want to make this the best city in the world for kids and families. I mean, people say a lot of things. That seems like something that would be natural, but you put that stake in the ground from the beginning, and it wasn't a rhetorical line. The decisions you make, standing on every kid being able to swim, from early childhood, the investment in arts, and so many different things. The schools, the champion you are. I always joke with the mayor, I watched her speak fluent Spanish, play virtuoso piano, and I forget what else, all in one day, like all in 2 hours, and was like, how were this many gifts bestowed on one person? But she is a partner to the Y on so many fronts, and right from the get-go, she created the Office of Early Childhood, again, matching rhetoric to action. And then she put Kristen McSwain in leadership of that position, and we have her leadership day in and day out, and we're so fortunate for Kristen's leadership. If you know Kristen, she's dogged and determined, and we're lucky to have her partnership. And specifically, investments from the Neighborhood Jobs Trust and ARPA made some of the things you've heard about today possible in addition to the state. It's nothing alone. It's private, it's public, it's cobbling it all together. And so we're just so fortunate to have the leadership of our great mayor, and we are so appreciate her being with us today. So Mayor Wu.
Good morning, everyone. I'm thrilled to be here because I also understand it so intimately. So what David hasn't seen, which you're welcome to come over to my house in the morning as we're trying to get the kids out the door, when I'm yelling, get your coats on, smearing the breakfast off of my clothes, and just saying, let's get out there. It's a lot that our families go through, and we're so grateful to be in a city where the recognition is that what we're talking about here today isn't just a women's issue, isn't even in fact just an issue for families with kids. The gap in affordable, accessible, high-quality childcare impacts every single one of us in our communities. And we have this coalition of community, government, business here recognizing that this key workforce issue is in fact about our larger economy, our community, and everything that we're trying to do. And so I am so grateful to be part of an ecosystem that recognizes that. Thank you to Tim and all your team here at the Roxbury Y for hosting us and for all that you do. Thank you to David's entire team as well for your leadership across our entire city and beyond. It's always wonderful. I jump at the chance to tag along to any Y events because it's always so visible, the impact that you all have. And then to our partners here, I'm staying in the wrong spot, to our state partners, Secretary Jones, we always are proud to count you as a City of Boston alum, making a big difference at the state, and to the entire administration, the governor, lieutenant governor, and our legislative partners, Rep. Worrell, standing up so strong on these issues for families, as a dad as well, and someone who gets it to the core. Thank you. And Lisa and Citizens are our leading partner here in this space today, along with many others in the business community. But I just want to thank you for being such a strong voice and working with us on so many big picture issues that we're excited to collaborate on and make sure we're making progress on. It's natural that Boston is taking the lead in this space. We are home to the very first, most historic or oldest schools in the country. And in fact, the Mather School in Dorchester was the very first free elementary school anywhere in the nation, nearly 400 years old at this point. And it was founded way back then in the 1600s with this recognition that everyone in society benefits when everyone has access to our shared education system. And so in that very, very first early days, it was funded through an extra tithe on cattle feeding that was collected among the community for those first 6 students to attend the Mather School. And over the course of the next several centuries, it became finally more widespread and then required and mandatory that there would be free education for all young people in this country, starting at age 5. And since then, now 400 years later, we are still fighting for the recognition that kids don't just magically appear when they're ready for free kindergarten. A whole lot of important stuff happens before then, and it's stressful for families, it's a huge burden on early childhood educators, and we put that all on families to sort through when in fact these are the most important developmental years for our young people's lives, aka those who will be leading us and taking care of us and running our society. We need to put that investment in now because it pays back tenfold, not too long from now. And so as we look to close these gaps, it really is an all-of-government approach, it is an all-of-society approach, and I'm so thankful that the YMCA is here to help us demonstrate what is possible and start taking steps forward that everyone can emulate. I wouldn't be here today able to share in this and many other successes that we've had already in closing these gaps without Kristen McSwain, our Director of Early Childhood, who has mobilized and found resources wherever possible and helped rethink how we are partnering with the larger ecosystem and how we fund classrooms rather than just seats to open up more spaces, how we help support the learn and earn opportunities, and how we as a city also set the model for building the pipelines for workforce that can be then expanded everywhere else. And I want to shout out, they're not here in this room, but Trin Nguyen, who is our Chief of Worker Empowerment, and her entire team have been incredible in making sure that we can build the partnerships for our educators to be credentialed and then stay in Boston. About a year ago, the City of Boston awarded our grants through the Growing the Workforce Fund to support this ecosystem of early childhood education. More than 400 people have been enrolled in these credential programs since then, and we are thrilled to now have one more way where we're expanding that in partnership with these incredible leaders here. Between the city, the YMCA of Greater Boston, citizens, and Eastern Banks, as you heard, this will be more than $1 million here to empower the early education workforce right in our communities. That means increased training opportunities and wages for our educators, and an apprenticeship program that will not only expand the number of educators on staff and in the pipeline, but ensure that this workforce is reflecting all of our communities and the little ones that they are serving. With a larger, more stable early education workforce in place, more of our families and children will be able to access the high quality early ed that we know is possible here, and more of our employers, more of our future economic prospects will be on a much smoother path because of the work that's happened here. So again, David had mentioned a little bit, but this is just one window into all that we're trying to do to make Boston the most attractive, the most nurturing, the most supportive place for families, because that means we're serving everyone. From efforts to really invest in our education system directly under Superintendent Skipper, from efforts to ensure we're modeling every way where we are supporting families from birth to when they come to us in BPS, and that we can help support the whole child, the whole family, and the whole community. Efforts around ensuring that when we talk about kids and families and the needs, it's not just test scores and whether there's somewhere to go during the day, but whether they're tapping into their fullest potential, their most joyful and greatest opportunity to learn, to be themselves, to connect with their peers and friends and communities. That's when we know we're going to be making a difference for everyone in Boston, when we can all afford to live, to thrive, and to connect with each other. So congratulations to everyone. Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Mayor Wu. My final introduction, and a woman and an institution without we wouldn't be here. Great partners are those who are with you on a front, and then when you decide, hey, we're going to do something different or something new, they stay with you even further because they believe in you going in a new direction. And Citizens Bank has been a long time supporter of the WISE workforce development. And they could have just stand pat, right? We all like a blue chip. We all like doing the same thing together that works. But we said, we're going to do something new. We're going to do something in early childhood. We're going to do an apprenticeship. We have some public funds, but we need some private support to make it go as well. And instead of questioning a million times, they said, where do we sign up? Because that's who they are as a partner. And Lisa Murray is just that kind of entrepreneurial, visionary, kind of private partner. She's the chair of Mass Business Roundtable. I lured JD here by saying his chair would be here. She's a civic leader. She's the president of Citizens Bank, Massachusetts. And even when we were sort of doing our typical kind of why, do we really have an announcement to make? She said, you have a lot to announce. We need to get together and announce this. This is big news. It will not only be a beacon for the why, but it'll be a beacon to other folks about investing in early childhood and what's needed around workforce pathways and investment and compensation. So they were really our mentor and our inspiration for kind of elevating what we're trying to do here today and the importance of pathways and fair and compensation for our early educators. So I'm going to ask Lisa to come up here and both close us out, and she's got a special introduction as well. So Lisa, thank you.
Well, that was quite the introduction, particularly coming from you, David, my friend. Thank you. Happy Apprentice Week. Something to celebrate. At Citizens, we're really driven by our credo to do more and help our customers, our colleagues, and our community to strive. And that's what we do every day. That's why we get up. That's what makes us excited. A key part of this commitment is our work to foster strong communities by helping to have an inclusive and skilled workforce day in and day out for all of our community. We strive to help address our community's workforce challenges by creating innovative, and this is definitely innovative, and impactful partnerships with organizations who provide upskilling and of in-demand capabilities. Citizens' partnership with the YMCA goes back many, many years, and our Early Childhood Education Academy is a prime example of how companies and nonprofits can really work together to enact change. In Massachusetts, access to affordable childcare is an overwhelming problem. It didn't just show up overnight. It didn't just show up with the pandemic, but it has certainly been exacerbated by that. Think about this, 53% of families in the Commonwealth live in communities where there is not enough childcare for the number of families that need them. 53%, over half. To address this crisis, Citizens is proud to partner with the YMCA of Greater Boston's innovative Early Childhood Apprentice Program to help build a sustainable pipeline for the future of early education. Creating tangible pathways for people to get good, affordable, quality education and with well-paying jobs is critical to helping them achieve long-term economic security. The WISE Apprenticeship Program provides paid on-the-job training for anyone who has a high school education or a GED, so no college is necessary. By removing the financial burden of college, the Academy opens up the door for upward mobility and social equity for these education providers and creates a positive ripple across our entire community. Citizens is also particularly proud to share the time, talent, and resources of our colleagues who come in and do financial literacy for these people so that they can have sustainable careers and achieve their lifelong goals. So I want to say thank you to Mayor Wood and Secretary Jones. Your leadership and commitment to this innovative early childhood education is really appreciated and clearly much needed. And David, you and your team are amazing. It's a pleasure to work with you day in and day out. We're also excited to see this program in action and see what happens. You're going to hear from Cassandra in a few minutes, but we're really excited to see how far we can take this for the greater good. And now I have the pleasure of introducing you to Cassandra Cadet. Now, you guys need to just buckle up because this woman, you are going to be blown away by her positivity, her enthusiasm, and her energy. And also joining her will be YMCA's Early Education Apprentices and Linda Strasbury? Stansbury, sorry. Early Education Senior Associate Director.
I just want to take 1 minute to share how important and how appreciative we are in early education for the wage increase that all of you have contributed towards, and also for the apprenticeship program. We are able to help teachers have a living wage, and we're also able to help teachers grow and develop to be certified teachers and work with our littlest learners. So thank you so much, Cassandra.
Thank you.
Hello, good morning everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. First, I really want to say thank you because being a part of this program, it means so much to me. Anybody who knows me from a can of paint can tell you, Cassie stays with the kids. I've always been with the kids. I'm actually an older sister of 5, and I actually raised my siblings. So I've been a mom, sister, and teacher since as long as I can remember. Speak in front of everyone today, especially David and the secretary, the mayor, all of you guys. This is amazing. It's my first time meeting you, Mayor Wu. So nice to meet you. I'm really excited, kind of nervous, but I'm really happy to be here. Everybody who works with me, they can tell. The Y is my first time actually being a part of the Y. I've never even had a membership. But going through my training, my 40 hours of training that I did with Rob, shout out to Rob, he taught me, he said, this is volunteer based, we are here for you. Whatever community that the Y is in, it's based on the needs that we need right there. And in this community, we needed togetherness, building togetherness, and that's all about our curriculum right now. I really love to do that with the kids here because I've never really worked in my community. I would go to like West Roxbury, Westwood, other places that weren't in my community because I felt like I didn't have what everyone else needed in my community. I didn't have the resources to give them. What was I gonna give these children? But once I finally got a chance at this apprenticeship program and I got a chance to enhance the skills that I already had working at Curtis Hall, the South Street Youth Center, volunteering at Arbor Hospital, I've done lots of other different things just to help build these skills. And being here has helped me make me feel welcome and like this is the place to be. I went through something really traumatic before actually starting this program, and I thought I was gonna enter motherhood, and I didn't. But right after that had happened, I get the info session with Rob. I'm like, whoa, life is coming together, right? A couple months later, I'm working, I'm here, I'm at the Y. I felt very welcome here from the second I came in. I really want to give a shout out to Melissa. I want to give a shout out to Linda and everybody else that was helping out. Brenda, everybody, you guys did a really great job. Tim too, you really did a really great job when you first introduced yourself to me. So I'm very thankful, I'm always gonna be thankful. That's all about Cassie, that's who she is. I'm very appreciative of both the increase in pay, because when I first started, I'm like, woo, my first week in, this is crazy. But again, you know, I'm from Boston, mostly Jamaica Plain, so I've met Liz Malia. I used to live in the South Street apartment, so if you've ever been to the Hot Dog Tuesday over there, yeah, it's every summer, the Unity Days, go meet us over there. So it's really nice to be in front of everybody today. What else do I got in here for you guys? Okay, all right. So one of the main things that I really wanted to gain during this training was knowledge and growth and development on all ages, not just specifically the 4s and the 5s, the UPK ages, but 1 to 2-year-olds, 15-month-year-olds, and I had a chance to work with all of them. Amazing children here. It's a really small center, but these children's personalities are through the roof, and they are amazing. It's crazy. I had never seen children together like this and able to learn and build a community at such a young age. You know, I always see like the fighting, that's mine, this is the siblings fighting, the rivalry is crazy. But here, they build relationships. They learn how to solve their problems because they have people such as us early educators and everyone else in this Y to make them feel comfortable in doing that. So for everyone here, for myself, for my co-teacher Bridget and JJ, I really want to give a shout out, and my director Crystal. So I want to give a shout out. Thank you so much, guys.
I think no one wanted it to end, which is a sign of good. When I'm up here, they just want it to end. But when you're up here, they don't want it to end. We are officially, I think, at the end. Rep Worrell, thank you so much for being here, man. Yeah, I was like, you want to talk? He's like, I'm good, I'm good. Which is rare, so thank you. Sign of a good elected official. But he is a great champion for our Ys here and in Dorchester as well. But we want to thank everyone for being here. As you can see, I mean, I know it's an old adage, especially when it comes to our young learners. But it takes a village. It takes a village to make something like this happen. It will take a village to sustain it. So don't flee the scene. We need you to stay around. Our donors, our investors, all of our staff. We'll keep pressing on the wheel. This is too important. And this is, you know, I think you've heard both the governor and the mayor in major addresses list this as one of the top 3 to 5 things that we as a society need to tackle. So it's not going anywhere. We'll have our shoulder to the wheel, and we know you'll have it with us. So we appreciate everyone in this room and beyond who made this happen, and we'll keep doing it day in and day out. So thank you so much.